Life is Strange True Colors is the third installment of Life is Strange franchise, and this one is possibly the most grounded and simple game with no complex story or characters involved. This is easily one of the most calmer Life is Strange games as compared to the other two games. Life is Strange True Colors brings you a protagonist by the name Alex who had a troubled past and who already knows about her power and has lived with it for some time. So you're not discovering the power and trying to understand what's happening with that power. You already know and discovering a little bit more about your powers as well. Her powers are basically able to feel the emotions of others and even find out why they feel that way. These emotions have their own colors to basically convey that they're feeling that way, which is actually pretty cool. As a character, you move to a small and simple town of Haven, which looks absolutely amazing. A town which I believe is fictional, but I would like to live in that town. And you came by to this town to meet your brother Gabe after 8 long years and hopefully start a brand new life. But then tragedy happens with you and everyone is not the same after that. And now you're trying to solve this mystery on why this tragedy happened and who is behind all of this. As far as the story goes, the pacing is pretty good and the story is very simple, which isn't a bad thing. The other two Life is Strange stories were more dark and bit more complex in my opinion, but this was more simple and something that can easily happen in real life and might be actually happening in real life. As we know of Life is Strange, the choices that you make will tailor the story. Various amount of these choices actually let you sit down and think about who to select or which to select, because it was very hard in every single choices to even select which one to go with. Even the other choices that don't exactly matter a lot, very simple ones, the smaller ones, were actually interesting because they developed your interactions with that character and your relationship with that character. And yes, speaking of character, you will easily remember every single one of these characters because of your interactions with them. Whether it's with their emotions or just talking to them, you will understand who these people are, and also by the end of the game, you will also remember who these people were because it is done in such a beautiful way, which easily is much better than Life is Strange 2, and you will actually understand their feelings, their life, and their personality with all of these characters. Gameplay is basically the same, but this time around there's some new activities that you can do in the game. You can actually go ahead and play arcade games where you live, or play foosball and more. There was a point in the game where the whole town took part in roleplay and you were basically of course role-playing your characters, but there was a point where you were fighting against monsters or role-playing monsters, and it turned into a turn-based combat system, RPG style, which is pretty cool and easily one of the best moments of the game. And that's why I like this game even more, because it doesn't keep you always in the dark side of the game or the story. It actually takes you to the brighter points and then takes you to a little bit of a darker point to understand the mystery, and then again switches you to a much more brighter, maybe in terms of relationship or what's going on in the world. It's actually a very well set pacing that will easily keep you playing this game. Every single thing you did mattered in your relationship with particular characters. And yes, speaking of relationship, you do have a choice to choose which relationship to go for. And by that I mean which person you can have the romance option to. And no, not insane romance option, just either a boyfriend or a girlfriend, that kind of thing. Your side of the romantic story felt very natural and very simple and didn't take away from the main story of the game. It kept very small, it kept very precise, and then after the main story was done, it had the option or gave you the option to continue that storyline and see what happens. And speaking of the main story, as you move ahead in these 5 episodic game, you will get more curious about the mystery at the end of each episode till you find a twist in the game, which will definitely surprise you because you will not see that coming. And you will be even more surprised at what happens after that, because it definitely wasn't there in the first 2 games the way they handled it in this game or the way it was presented in this game. So when you play this game and go to that portion of the twist, you will actually understand what I'm talking about. Even after the end of the story, you can actually continue the story the way you want to. So this game, as compared to Life is Strange 2, did not have a bad ending. You have a happy ending. No matter where you go, in my opinion, you will have a happier ending, and it will feel good after you finish the game. You will actually feel good, which is a lot different by any other 2 games. Overall, I would say Deck 9 did an amazing job in making a simple yet interesting Life is Strange game, because I genuinely didn't have much interest going into this, but when I started playing the game and getting to know about characters and also Alex, I started liking everyone. especially Alex, who I love because she wasn't broken per se but willing to move forward. And the best thing is that you don't get to know about her backstory early on, rather you will see it later on in the story to help the main story. I think this was a very good game and easily better than Life is Strange 2. I absolutely love Life is Strange 1, so for me, this game won't be able to top that. But I definitely believe that this game's ending was far better, in my opinion, simpler, easier, and happier than that of Life is Strange 1 and 2. And I would love to see what Deck 9 does more as they possibly make more Life is Strange game, because, well, the first impressions were pretty good for making a bigger Life is Strange game. Have you guys played Life is Strange True Colors yet? Let us know in the comments below, and if you did, let us know what you think about it. And definitely hit that like button, subscribe to watch more review videos just like this, and if you haven't watched other review of other games, you can take a look right next.